This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Now we don't have to eliminate positions, but there is still the money that is going to be cut. So we'll have to be very careful with how we absorb that reduction.
Not only because there may be benefits tied to the toxic exposure, but because we really feel that we're offering high quality, timely healthcare services, and we'd love to offer that to all of our veterans.
We started off with anywhere from 1,000 people per night. Now we grow to about 2,500 to 6,000 people per night. People apparently want to listen to music out front. They want to have a beer in front of the police station. They want to shake hands with the cops, and it went over really well.
Good morning, everyone. That was your morning eye opener. I'm Dua Esrar.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is Friday, July 7th, 2023. Finally made it to the end of the week.
Absolutely. Here comes the weekend.
We are so happy, but I don't know how I feel about this, wave of cold to kick off the weekend.
You think this is cold?
Okay, the thing about me is that I generally run cold.
Okay.
So regardless of whatever the weather is, I'm probably wearing like a sweater or a cardigan. So like this is cold to me. I need to be out in a sweatshirt.
I think this is comfortable for me, but that's just me. That's just me.
No.
I'll take this any day rather than the 90s that we're going to probably see early next week. Let's get to what's happening right now. And, there's a couple of things that I'm watching. I'm watching the foggy conditions outside, as you can see behind me there on the screen. Satellite and radar picture, however, is looking quiet on the other screen there behind me. But this is kind of showing here, not exactly showing the fog. It's just showing some of the clouds above the surface just a bit. So you'll notice that after the fog clears out, we're going to be looking at mostly sunny skies here to work with through at least the first half of the day. Let's get to our current temperature readings, and you can see we got the 50s and even the 40s in some spots. 48 in Eau Claire, but 53 is the temperature in La Crosse. And overall, this is about 5 to 10 degrees of a cooler difference this morning. That probably explains why Dua needed a little bit of a sweater this morning in some spots. Black River Falls nearing that 20-degree cooler temperature difference there. Today's planner showing mixed clouds and sun after that fog clears out throughout the day. And then as we head into the later afternoon to early evening hours, we could be looking at increasing clouds, slight chance of a shower. Also possible underneath some of those thicker clouds. Here's a check on your algae report, and you can see that everything is low for the grass and weed, but the mold here is still high. And the same thing is going to happen here as we head into the day tomorrow. The mold spores are also increasing here too. I'll have a check on your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. Dua?
Thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. The accident on I-90-94 near Tomah has mostly been cleared. A disabled semi-truck is still in the median of the highway just over a mile past the entrance ramp from County Road PP. It appears that any remaining delays are due to construction. Officials in Winona County say they have seen an uptick in hay barn fires. Since June 19th, Winona County fire departments have responded to 6 hay barn fires. That is 3 times as many hay barn fires that were recorded in 2022. Hay retains moisture even in dry conditions, which makes it open to spontaneously catch on fire. Officials say you can tell if hay is overheating if there is a caramel or burning smell, if there's visible smoke, or if the hay bale is hot to touch. The La Crosse police have identified the man involved in a high-speed crash on La Crosse's South Avenue last month. According to police reports, officers on June 28th found 52-year-old Jonathan Full from Soldiers Grove on the ground and bleeding from the head near his damaged Chevy Sonic. Officers say he resisted the efforts to get him to lie still for medical attention. One officer checked inside the car and found a marijuana pipe. Witnesses told police they saw Full veering across lanes on South Avenue and speeding before striking a boat on a trailer and several cars. Police say they later talked to Full at Gunderson. According to the report, Full says he had been smoking marijuana in his car between running errands. He told police he believed his marijuana had been laced when he left the car to run errands. When police asked him about his driving, Full said he was tripping out on drugs he wouldn't take. Police have charged him with OWI and possession of drug paraphernalia. Sparta police have new details about a house fire that happened early Sunday morning. Officials say the cause of the fire was from illegal drugs and a heating device. The fire led to one person getting second-degree burns. They were transported to the Madison Burn Center for treatment. The house was extensively damaged and will need to be torn down. The Department of Homeland Security says one Houston County resident is a cautionary tale after they were scammed out of $700,000. The Houston County Sheriff's Office says they got a tip from Homeland Security about the swindle by a criminal organization out of India. Dinesh Kumar Patel of Illinois was arrested on June 8th after allegedly trying to get more money from the same victim. Patel later posted a $5,000 bail. But in another unrelated incident, a county resident had wired $47,000 to another unknown person, thinking the deal was legit. The sheriff's office wants residents to be extra careful with their financial information. The UW Systems Board of Regents are meeting in La Crosse to discuss how to move forward with a reduced budget. The UW system had asked the state for $500 million in spending increases, but the Republican-controlled legislature proposed a $32 million budget cut to remove 188 staff positions related to diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Governor Tony Evers used his line item veto to preserve those 188 positions, but the $32 million reduction still went through. The UW system can reportedly get that money back if they can prove it would be used for workforce development. Speaker Robin Voss said they will not get that money back unless they end all diversity programs. UW La Crosse Chancellor Joe Gao says while his university is in strong financial shape, it'll be a challenge for the whole system to work with fewer resources.
Now we don't have to eliminate positions, but there is still the money that is going to be cut. So we'll have to be very careful with how we absorb that reduction. Arguably, we're the strongest school in the system financially, but that doesn't mean we can take a cut and it doesn't have consequences.
UWL's Prairie Springs Science Center and UW-Madison's engineering building were two of the major capital projects that were put on the chopping block. Gao says he'll continue to advocate for Prairie Springs' next budget. Governor Tony Evers announced his appointment for the La Crosse County Circuit Court. Mark Huseman will fill the vacancy left by Judge Todd Bierke's retirement. Huseman's term will begin on July 31st and will end after 1 year. For the last 16 years, Huseman has served as Bierke's court commissioner. Like his predecessor, Huseman is a veteran and has been a legal advisor and member of the board of directors for the La Crosse Area Veteran Mentor Program. He will also take over the Veterans Treatment Court that Judge Bierke helped bring to the La Crosse area. Tomah VA officials say the future for Tomah veterans is bright, thanks to one of the largest healthcare and benefit expansions in Veterans Affairs history. The PACT Act gives health benefits to veterans exposed to toxic chemicals like Agent Orange and open burn pits. Before PACT, some health conditions didn't qualify veterans for certain benefits. Now they are eligible for toxic exposure screening. The Tomah VA says it screened 16,000 vets so far, and about 40% have reported toxic chemical exposure. But they now know more vets are out there that also deserve this screening, and the Tomah VA wants to spread the word to them.
Not only because there may be benefits tied to the toxic exposure, but because we really feel that we're offering high quality, timely healthcare services, and we'd love to offer that to all of our veterans.
The screenings are a quick Q&A session with VA representatives. Each veteran enrolled in the VA gets an initial screen and a checkup once every 5 years. There is no deadline to apply for the benefits, though veterans need to file by August 9th to have benefits backdated to last August when the law went into effect. Well, summer might be in full swing, but for the Boys and Girls Club of La Crosse, it's never too early to think about the new school year. Last night, the Boys and Girls Club hosted a back-to-school fair to help parents save money and get school supplies, haircuts, clothing, vaccines, and eye exams. The director of community engagement at the Boys and Girls Club of Greater La Crosse says the $0 price tag is thanks to the community.
All the services, all of the supplies, everything is at no cost to families, because we have a generous community that steps up and really provides for our families in this area.
The Boys and Girls Club of Greater La Crosse will be holding more fairs in August. Downtown Tomah kicked off a summer tradition last night. Downtown Thursday nights are officially back from 6 to 9 p.m. every Thursday for the next month and a half on the 800 and 900 blocks of Superior Avenue. Organizers started the Summer Street concert series in 2019 as a way to bring community members together right in front of the police station.
We started off with anywhere from 1,000 people per night. Now we grow to about 2,500 to 6,000 people per night. People apparently want to listen to music out front. They want to have a beer in front of the police station. They want to shake hands with the cops, and it went over really well.
The event is free and open to the public, and the Chamber also has a kids zone with activities for little ones, all free of charge as well. This afternoon, downtown La Crosse is hosting another First Friday Art Walk at the River City Gallery. The event is from 4 to 7 p.m. on the first Friday of each month. It's an opportunity to see artists, new exhibitions, and collections at various galleries. There will be music demonstrations and refreshments. We will have more information on our website, news8000.com. Also starting today, the 51st annual Catfish Days in Trempealeau. It's a weekend-long celebration including food, live entertainment, a fishing competition, and of course, a Sunday grand parade. Buttons will be $7 at the gate. We'll post the event schedule on our website. Well, coming up on News 8 Now this morning, the U.S. Labor Department is expected to release the June jobs report. That's still ahead on your morning news. And got milk? Well, now it will be easier as one state is legalizing the sale of a new type of milk. That and more is coming up this morning, but for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning, and man, oh man, do I love this story. A small Canadian town went for a Jurassic World record. The town of Dundurn, Saskatchewan held the world's largest dinosaur dance party. The previous record was 253 people, but this event wrecked the previous record by reporting a head count of 1,163 attendees in inflatable costumes. Now the town is waiting for the Guinness World Record to confirm the prehistoric feat. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
We're starting to see the fog here clear out a little bit in La Crosse, but as of right now, things are still looking pretty quiet on our satellite and radar picture as well. Let's get a check on your dog walking conditions. We will be looking at the sunshine here after that fog clears out for those morning walks, so that's looking good. Mostly sunny for the afternoon, maybe a little bit of a chance of a slight drizzle here as we head into the evening hours with cloudy skies. Current temperature readings are into the 40s and 50s. Some spots are even into the upper 30s, such as Sparta and Black River Falls. Winona is currently at 50, though. Eau Claire's at 48, and La Crosse is currently at 53. Your zone forecast for today calling for our highs to be pretty similar to what we just had yesterday. Highs into those mid to upper 70s this afternoon. 79 Berry Mills, 78 Manduro, 78 today in Holman, and just shy of 80 in Onalaska. 76 today in Viroqua, 77 Lansing today, 77 today in New Albin, and highs around 79 in La Crescent. As we move north into our central zones, it'll be 78 today in Sparta, a high of 77 in Blair, and 78 in Alma Center. We're looking at 77 in Osseo. Highs into the mid to upper 70s in the Chippewa Valley today, with just shy of 80 degrees here this afternoon if you're in Eau Claire. Mixed clouds and sun. I'll have a check on your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes when we'll talk about some upcoming rain chances that's in store for next week.
In your consumer news this morning, Twitter is threatening legal action over Meta's new social media service, Threads. An attorney for Twitter described Threads as a copycat app and alleged that it was developed by former employees of Twitter who may have exposed some of the company's trade secrets. Twitter owner Elon Musk stated competition is fine, cheating is not, in response to a tweet regarding the possible legal action. According to a letter posted by Semaphore, over 30 million new users signed up with Threads just hours after the site's launch this week. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will release their monthly jobs report today. Early indications appear to show the U.S. labor market still being strong. According to private payroll processor ADP's National Employment Report, U.S. companies added 497,000 positions in the month of June. That number was double what analysts were estimating for the month of June. The U.S. labor market has been adding jobs over the past 29 consecutive months. Well, it's no secret that farming hasn't been easy this summer amid the dry conditions, but there may be hope for some small-scale Iowa farmers. Jackson Saylor explains.
On Saturday, July 1st, the Hawkeye State officially joined dozens of other states in legalizing the sale of unpasteurized milk. The law was signed by Governor Kim Reynolds back in May of this year, but was not officially put into effect until the 1st of July. Senator Chuck Grassley, who was in Fairfield on Wednesday, told KTVO that this is nothing but great news for the nearly 3,000 dairy farmers that call Iowa home.
And I would think that Iowa's keeping up with other states because dairy, the 2,800 dairy people we have in Iowa, it'd be very important for them to sell the product that their customer wants.
Francis Tickey, a dairy farmer himself in Fairfield, says that the sale of raw milk was already going on, but this bill will only make it safer and is very beneficial to the small-scale farmer.
It's going to be more like a local opportunity for small-scale farmers to make more local sales. Frankly, there's been already a lot of raw milk being sold in the past, even though it wasn't really legal. This will increase the amount being sold, and it'll actually make it safer because the law does have some testing requirements.
Those testing requirements include bacterial checks on the milk as well as veterinary checks on the animals. Because Grade A milk was the only other type of milk that was allowed to be sold in the Hawkeye State previously, this new law allows dairy farmers that aren't licensed to sell Grade A milk to sell their product, something that Tickey says is great for farmers both on the small scale and the large scale.
It seems to me that there could be a two-tier kind of thing where, yeah, the small scale that are not licensed to sell Grade A milk, they could sell it under this new law, and maybe there could be some option for larger farms that are already Grade A licensed to also fit into this program somehow.
The law does state that in order to sell the raw milk, the dairy farm must have no more than 10 dairy-producing animals.
Well, another thing that farmers are facing is those dry weather conditions. We're definitely in need of some rain, so let's send it over to First Warn meteorologist Derek Sibley. Derek, is there some hope?
Yeah, we could be looking at some rain here as we head into next week, Dua. So that is some good news to share with you here this morning. We're also starting to see some of that fog beginning to lift now here in the Coulee region. This is City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, and you can see that the visibilities are still a little bit low, but not as low as what we just saw here earlier this morning. Current conditions stand this way, 53 degrees with some of those clouds out there, and of course the fog. East-southeast winds light in La Crosse, currently at 6 miles an hour. Now, meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, a little cooler. Temperatures here for you are at 49 degrees, a light east-northeast wind at 3 miles an hour. A check on the temperatures across the area, and you can see that we're mainly into the 50s. Some spots, Black River Falls at 49 or 41, I should say. Sparta's currently at 39. Volkfield's at 39 as well. Viroqua 54, and Winona to the west is currently at 52. Here's a look at the overall planner. After the remaining fog clears out, we're going to be turning sunny. 56 will be the temperature, then 73 by noon today. Mostly sunny, 79 degrees and cloudy by 4 o'clock. And yeah, we're still going to be pretty cloudy here too as we head into early this evening. Temperatures will be at around 72 degrees with forecast highs expected to rise into the mid to upper 70s here this afternoon. 78 today for you in Eau Claire. Highs just shy of that 80-degree mark this afternoon in La Crosse. Meanwhile, skies are looking nice and clear here this morning. And if we widen things out, you can see this high pressure system sitting at the surface just on top of us here at the moment. And that is creating the nice and quiet conditions here for us. We're also watching showers and thunderstorms back towards the west here from our next system that we'll be watching here closely. That could give us some rain to work with, which is not a bad thing because we definitely need the rain around here. In fact, you can see much of the upper Midwestern United States is anywhere between a moderate to severe drought, and that's exactly what's happening right now in the Coulee region. This just came in yesterday, this new update, and you can see that we're still in a moderate drought for many spots. High pressure is going to continue to provide quiet and dry conditions this morning. As it moves away, here comes that system back to the west that we mentioned. That's going to help increase the cloud cover as we head into the later afternoon hours and also into tonight. Slight chance of a shower is possible as that system continues to move in. Here's this next cold front moving in from the north as we head into overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Ahead of it, cloudy skies, slight chance of a shower here as that front moves through. Behind it, much drier conditions for the day tomorrow. And then as we head into Saturday night, we're looking at mainly clear skies, a weak area of high pressure providing some dry conditions as well. I am watching another cold front moving in from the north, and as we head into Sunday, out ahead of it, we could be warming up with that southwesterly wind motion. Showers and storms associated with that frontal boundary could move in as we head into next week. I'm thinking between Monday through Wednesday, we could be looking at our next best chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs into the upper 80s to low 90s for the first half of next week. All right, stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather, and that's still to come on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're taking a quick break with a look what happened on this day in history for July 7th. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. Some thrilling action yesterday on the Diamond, especially in Milwaukee. We'll get to that one in just a bit, but we'll start on the Diamond in lacrosse. Our Legion baseball athletes have been busy putting in the work all summer. A couple of our squads were playing too yesterday at Copeland Park. Bangor and Post 52 playing a doubleheader. Lacrosse taking game 1 and Post 52 getting some good defense early on in game 2. Wesley Barnhart, nice grab and right, snagging that one out of the sky. Then bottom 1, Drew Wonderling had a homer in game 1. Big man just missing his second bomb of the day, but that'll get down for an extra base hit. Johnny Lever scores to make it 1-0. Then it's the future UWL Eagle, Calvin Hargrove, adding 2 more. He smokes a base hit in the left. Post 52 takes a 3-0 lead. Second inning, more from the home team. Lever lining a base hit in a right field. Dalen Haney comes around to score. And then it's Hargrove again. Copeland Park's going to be his home field at the next level. He already looks right at home. Another base hit for Hargrove. All Post 52 in this one as Lacrosse sweeps the doubleheader over Bangor. They take game 2, 10-0. Final game of the series for the Cubs and Brewers. They were picking up right where they left off Wednesday in the second. Man on for Cody Bellinger. He rips one down the right field line. Christopher Morel comes around to score. It's 1-0 Cubs. But in the 5th, Brewers battling back. 2 on for Joey Weimer. He comes up big, base hit in the left. Raimel Tapia comes around to score on the RBI single. It's 1-1. And later in the inning, Christian Yelich with 2 on. He's going to blow this one open. Deep drive to left, just over the yellow line. Yelich stays hot with the 3-run shot. It's 4-1. But in the 6th, Cubs get 2 of those right back. Bellinger again, this time crushing one to right center. That's a 2-run blast. Chicago cuts the deficit to just 1. Milwaukee would add a run in the 7th, but then in the 8th, Cubs do it again. 1 on for Yan Gomes, and he hammers this pitch to left. A no-doubt game-tying 2-run homer. We're all knotted at 5 until this, bottom of the inning. Victor Caratini unties it with 1 swing of the bat. It's high, deep, and it ain't coming back. A go-ahead solo shot for Caratini puts the Brewers back up 1. Yoel Payams closes it out in the 9th. He gets Ian Happ to pop it up. Willie Adames camps under it, and that will do it. Brewers hang on in another wild finish. What a 4-game series between these two teams. Brewers settle for the split. They get the win 6-5. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
On July 1st, new laws went into effect in Minnesota, including one to provide free school lunches. Caroline Cummings spoke with parents in Duluth about how the new law is helping students across the state.
That was amazing whenever that happened.
For Amber Lightfeather, a mother of 5 in Duluth, a pandemic-era policy providing free school meals regardless of family income was a lifeline.
My son used to always tell me that he didn't eat because he didn't want to make me have to pay for it.
She says she's always made just above the cutoff to qualify for the federal free and reduced price lunch program, but her budget is still tight. School lunch for her kids cost more than $250 a month.
With 4 kids in school, that adds up really quick.
But now some permanent relief. The state legislature this year approved universal school meals for all kids. Free breakfast and lunch no matter how much money your parents make.
There you go.
The federal government will still cover the cost for kids who qualify under the federal program requirements, and the state will reimburse schools for everyone else.
This will relieve a significant financial burden for parents.
Colleen Moriarty with Hunger Solutions Minnesota has fought for this policy change for nearly 2 decades, and it comes at a time when the need is great. Visits to food shelves were at a record high last year.
Nobody's charged for a ride on the bus. Nobody has to pay for textbooks. These are basic rights that kids have when they come to school, to depend on proper nutrition to be able to learn.
1 in 6 Minnesota kids is food insecure, and supporters of the policy hope that changes. Minnesota, one of the first states to take this step after the COVID rule expired.
And when I heard that they had approved that, I was crying. I was crying for the other parents struggling like me.
The new law will only cover 1 free breakfast and 1 free lunch per day. Items like second servings or extra milk will still cost additional. The Lake Walk in Duluth may be one of the most popular places in Minnesota this time of year, but after many long winters and a changing climate, it's in need of some repairs. To pay for those fixes, the city received $8.2 million in grants from the U.S. Department of Transportation. The funding will go towards repairing and straightening sections of the shore that are washing away. There's also a plan to make the Lake Walk safer for people who use it and more accessible for everyone by adding a flatter route near the railroad tracks. The $100 billion Wisconsin state budget signed this week devotes resources to tentpoles like public education to the tune of $1 billion. Today, Governor Tony Evers is highlighting a $5 million measure that can be just as impactful in child development. The governor stopped by the Boys and Girls Club of the Greater Chippewa Valley. Through the next 2 years, the Boys and Girls Club of Wisconsin will receive an additional $5 million in the state budget to support their work. Organizers in Chippewa Falls say they'll use this money for a dedicated space to teen development.
It's not going to be going to bricks and mortars. It's really about the mentorship and the academic gap that we're trying to close by partnering with our school districts, making sure the kids have the resources and tools they can be to good citizens, but also knowing that social, emotional wellness is an important piece to all of our curriculum and activities to help make sure the youth have those tools and resources they can in the society that they're currently growing up in.
The governor used his veto power to ensure public education sees spending increases for the next 400 years, but he says not everything is learned in school, and this organization is a great opportunity for kids to use.
Also important to recognize the value that organizations like the Boys and Girls Club have for kids, making sure that kids are safe, and but also use it to increase their ability to be successful in school. And that's probably the most important thing that we endorse and support financially.
Evers also defended his veto on tax cuts for the top 2 income brackets, arguing someone making $300,000 a year is not a middle-class Wisconsinite. The state budget also approved $125 million for battling PFAS contamination in the state, but the town of Campbell supervisor says a separate bill in Madison would restrict the DNR's ability to enforce water quality standards. Supervisor Lee Donahue is calling on legislators to amend part of the budget to include more consideration for the spills law. The law provides better protection from PFAS chemicals, which contaminate water and impact health. She says a GOP-sponsored Senate bill will undermine the DNR's ability to hold polluters accountable under the spills law. Milwaukee is just days away from a historic vote on a first-ever sales tax. City leaders argue the 2% tax could be the only way to save the city from a financial catastrophe. 10 of the 15 alders must vote for the tax in order for it to pass. With the clock ticking, the choice is essentially pay now or suffer a crisis later. Adam Reif has the details.
If all 6 of you vote against this, it fails. So we need all 6 of you to vote against this.
The most vocal members of an overflow crowd at the Clinton Rose Senior Center Thursday were decidedly opposed to a new sales tax. If enacted, the tax would cost low-income families an estimated $230 a year for most purchases. Median-income families would pay $365 a year.
This unfreezes our city revenue for the first time in a generation. It immediately removes our looming fiscal cliff.
Without the tax revenue, the mayor's office projects the city will have to lay off 700 police officers, 250 firefighters, and 400 city employees in the first year alone.
It's borderline unimaginable to think of cuts this devastating, but we did the math, and we tried to be as generous and as conservative as we could.
Some people supported the tax from their seats, but many speakers argued against it as a way to force the state's hand.
Milwaukee makes the most money out of any other city in the state. Why are we letting them choke us out like this?
And it's time out for us to stop accepting peanuts. We cannot hold a Republican convention in a bankrupt city.
2/3 of the alders must vote to approve.
Advise us as we represent you.
The city's current budget gap sits at least $183 million, and it'll keep growing. The sales tax is estimated to bring in $190 million every year. Mayor Cavalier Johnson has called it a light at the end of the tunnel that could save Milwaukee from a spiraling fiscal crisis.
I want to make sure this vote is something that is reflective of my constituency.
If the sales tax is voted down, the city could fill the 2024 budget gap with the rest of its ARPA money and pension surplus, but then the gap returns in 2025. Well, we're going to send it over to First Warn meteorologist Derek Sibley to tell us what's coming up in our morning commute. And Derek, you know, we saw a little bit of the fog go away, but looking at City Cam 8, it's coming back.
We are starting to see some of that redevelopment of the fog here, it looks like, Dua. So still make sure to use those low beam headlights and make sure to reduce that braking distance between you and the other driver in front of you. We'll keep an eye on the fog here for you throughout the morning. As of right now, things are looking pretty quiet here on the satellite and radar. Temperatures are into the 40s and 50s, 49 in Eau Claire, 54 degrees currently in La Crosse. We are seeing 39 in Sparta, 43 Black River Falls, and the temperature in Viroqua is currently at 55 degrees, 54 in Winona. Forecast overall today, well, we will be turning mostly cloudy later into the afternoon and also into the evening hours. Temperatures at 79, and overall pretty cool for this time of the year. South winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tonight, 56 degrees with cloudy skies overhead. Slight chance of a few showers moving through tonight as well, and northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. All right, so for the mowing forecast this morning, 59 degrees, mostly clear skies. Of course, after that fog lifts, 73 degrees, mostly sunny at noon. That's probably the best time to go ahead and do so because you may run to maybe a couple of showers later in the day, but those chances are very slim, though. We're looking cloudy around 5 o'clock, 77 degrees. If you want to wait a little longer, a little later for it to warm up, that's probably the best bet. I'll have a check on that full weather forecast one more time coming up after the break. And we'll talk about some rain chances coming up as well. Coming up in our Buzz Report, too, the Eagles are going on tour for the last time after a 52-year run. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, it looks like the fog here has begun to cycle up again, and as you can see behind me from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, things are definitely low as far as our visibility is concerned with all the fog out there. Make sure to use those low beam headlights as you get ready to head out the door this morning for your morning commute. Look at the visibility levels now updating to just 2 miles now in La Crosse. East-southeast winds light at 6 miles an hour. Temperatures are at 54 degrees along with that fog. 49 degrees with some partly cloudy skies to the north in Eau Claire. Looks like your visibility levels have greatly improved into up to 9 miles, and we can kind of see that outside here from the US 12 traffic camera. East-northeast winds at around 3 miles an hour. Our current temperatures are into the 40s and 50s. We got the 30s, however, in Sparta. Some of the colder exceptions are off to the east where we have 43 as well. Black River Falls there, 55 in Viroqua, and the temperature in Winona is currently measuring 54 degrees. A check now on your planner here. Overall, 56 degrees with some sunshine after we get rid of the fog, and then 73 degrees, mostly sunny by noon, 79 and cloudy by 4 o'clock in the day, and then by 8 o'clock we're still cloudy, 72 degrees. So I'm thinking later this afternoon into early this evening we start to see some increasing moisture leading to some cloud development. We'll get to that in a second, but our forecast highs today will be mainly into those upper 70s, some spots nearing that 80-degree mark. Besides the fog here just aloft, we are just looking at only a couple of clouds, but for the most part things are quiet as this high pressure system is in control of our weather sitting on top of us. We're watching the storm system back towards the west containing showers and thunderstorms. Some of that may move its way towards the east here as we get near tonight and also into early tomorrow, which by the way is not a bad thing. After all, we are still in a pretty hefty drought, as you can see from our latest drought monitor index that came in yesterday. And for the Coulee region, we are under this moderate drought status for much of the area. Meanwhile, down to our southern zones, we're looking at more of that level 3 drought on the severe side. So any type of rain is definitely beneficial, and you can see that high is going to move away, giving way to that moisture back to the west. That will help increase the clouds as we head into later today. And again, a slight chance of a shower possible as that system nears us, but it does look like as it continues to move east, a lot of this is going to fizzle out and dissipate. We do have a cold front here to the north. That's going to move in as we head into this weekend. This front's not really a strong one, so I'm not expecting a huge temperature difference here behind it, but it will create some drier conditions, slight chance of a shower here only as we head into Saturday. And then as we head into Saturday night, things are still looking pretty quiet, maybe a few clouds here and there. I'm watching this next system back to the north as we head into Sunday, because out ahead of this front, we could be looking at this moving in here as we head into next week, giving us a chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms between Monday through Wednesday of next week, along with warmer temperatures out ahead of that front too. Highs are going to climb into the upper 80s, low 90s, and then behind the front, low to mid 80s here late next week.
Well, in our Morning Buzz report, Drake is the latest performer to get hit on stage by something thrown by a concert goer. Someone threw a cell phone onto the stage, seemingly hitting Drake in the arm or wrist during a concert in Chicago Wednesday. Drake apparently was not hurt and continued the show. It's the latest in a series of similar incidents in the few weeks. Targets have included Bebe Rexha, Kelsea Ballerini, Pink, and Lil Nas X.
Sophie, what happened?
I think there's something here that's not meant to be.
The Nun is creeping back into theaters. The Nun 2 is the latest entry in the Conjuring universe of films, with Bonnie Aarons revisiting her horrifying title role. The Nun 2 possesses theaters September 8th. The legendary band The Eagles have announced their final tour titled The Long Goodbye. The tour will initially have 13 stops and is set to end in St. Paul, Minnesota in November. In a statement, the Eagles said they will perform as many shows in each market as their audience demands. Their longtime friends and fellow Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Steely Dan will be the special opening act. Tickets go on sale July 14th. Well, Derek, we talked a little bit about like horror movies and the Conjuring universe, but I want to like expand on that a little bit more. Is there a horror movie that you've seen that you really like? Or have you just like not seen any horror movies at all?
I have seen the horror movies recently, but I want to say it will come to me later probably. I don't remember the name of it.
Come on, Derek.
I know. It's early in the morning. I'm sorry.
Have you seen It? Like the one about the clown with the, red balloon? That remake?
That I don't think I've seen, no.
Fantastic. I thought personally it was fantastic.
All right. Well, we got a bunch of birthdays today to celebrate, so let's go ahead and get right to Caleb, and that's who we're going to start off with today. Caleb's turning 8 today. Caleb is a Spitfire, and according to his grandma, his red hair seems to dictate his zest for life.
Happy 8th birthday to Henry. Henry loves any sport, but especially baseball and football.
Well, we want to wish a happy 8th birthday to Andrew. Andrew loves soccer, baseball, and playing with his baby brother.
Happy 80th birthday to Kenny. Kenny enjoys watching the Packers, Brewers, and taking his 1966 Plymouth Hemi to area car shows.
Well, if you know a special someone that's turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them here.
Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. La Crosse police have identified the man involved in a high-speed crash on La Crosse's South Avenue last month. According to police reports, officers on June 28th found 52-year-old Jonathan Full from Soldiers Grove on the ground and bleeding from the head near his damaged Chevy Sonic. Officers say he resisted the efforts to get him to lie still for medical attention. One officer checked inside the car and found a marijuana pipe. Witnesses told police they saw Full veering across lanes on South Avenue and speeding before striking a boat and on a trailer and several cars. Police say they later talked to Full at Gunderson. According to the report, Full says he had been smoking marijuana in his car between running errands. He told police he believed his marijuana had been laced when he left the car to run those errands. When police asked him about his driving, Full said he was tripping out on drugs he wouldn't take. Police have charged him with OWI and possession of drug paraphernalia. Sparta police have new details about a house fire that happened early Sunday morning. Officials say the cause of the fire was from illegal drugs and a heating device. The fire led to one person getting second-degree burns. They were transported to the Madison Burn Center for treatment. The house was extensively damaged and will need to be torn down. Summer might be in full swing, but for the Boys and Girls Club of Lacrosse, it's never too early to think about the new school year. Last night, the Boys and Girls Club hosted a back-to-school fair to help parents save money and get school supplies, haircuts, clothing, vaccines, and eye exams. The director of community engagement at the Boys and Girls Club of Greater La Crosse says the $0 price tag is thanks to the community.
All the services, all of the supplies, everything is at no cost to families because we have a generous community that steps up and really provides for our families in this area.
The Boys and Girls Club of Greater La Crosse will be holding more fairs in August. This afternoon, downtown La Crosse is hosting another First Friday Art Walk at the River City Gallery. The event is from 4 to 7 p.m. on the first Friday of each month. It's an opportunity to see artists, new exhibitions, and collections at various galleries. There will be music demonstrations and refreshments. We will have more information on our website, news8000.com. And also starting today, the 51st annual Catfish Days in Trempealeau. It's a weekend-long celebration including food, live entertainment, a fishing competition, and of course, a Sunday grand parade. Buttons will be $7 at the gate. We'll post the event schedule on our website.
As you head out the door this morning, keep an eye on some of that fog because it is dense out there in some spots, especially in downtown La Crosse, what we're seeing from CityCam in the background. So make sure to use those low beam headlights. But after that, we're going to be looking at mixed clouds and sun through the first half of the day. And then later this afternoon to this evening, that's when the clouds will start to increase. Temperatures into the 70s today. Here's a check on your 8-day forecast. We're going to be looking at highs returning to the 80s for this weekend under mixed clouds and sunshine. Now, for the first half of the next work week here next week, we're looking at a chance of a isolated thunderstorm or shower or two, so something we'll keep our eyes on. We do need it though. Highs in the upper 80s to low 90s for the first few days of next week, and then low to mid 80s Thursday and Friday. Lows in the 50s and 60s.
I'm really glad that rain is holding off until Monday, especially for the weekend with all of those events going on like Catfish Days and today with the River Gallery.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You know, it'll give everyone a nice opportunity to get out and about in the town. Definitely a great way to kick off the weekend.
Absolutely.
Do you plan on doing any of those fun things, Derek?
We'll see. What about you, Duo? Okay.
Okay, so I've started this thing. It's an unofficial hike club, so I will be doing that this weekend.
Okay.
I'm very much exploring all of the bluffs that I can this summer.
This area really got me into hiking.
I absolutely love La
it.
Crosse for that.
Me too.
Absolutely.
It's so nice.
Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now this morning. We'll see you back here at noon.